Good morning, good morning. So it's December the 27th, 2019, 2 days after Christmas. So I just woke up and just read the Bible. I read about the Apostle Paul standing before Felix, Festus, and Agrippa. Yeah, and how he got to talk, as Jesus had promised his disciples that they will be brought before governors and kings, and when you do, don't think about what you're gonna say, but in that moment, he said that the Holy Spirit will give you something to say. So I was just reading that, and every time I read the Bible, certain things just jump out at you, different things that you'd missed before, proof that the Bible is alive, So I just thought I just clearly understood that passage this morning, the 3 chapters I read this morning, how, I saw how, Paul stood before first Felix, then Festus, then Agrippa. So, I think Agrippa is a king, Felix is a governor, Festus, I don't quite remember who Festus was. But clearly it wasn't God's plan for him to have Paul do that, so that these men and their entourages would hear the gospel. And then it's like a constant escalation. Then he appeals to Caesar, the ruler of the whole world. Right? So it's an escalation. It just keeps going up and up, from Jerusalem to Felix to Festus, Agrippa, and now Caesar. Right? So let me see who Festus is. I know that Felix was the governor, right? Anyway, I'm not quite sure. Anyway, it's bad to be doing this in a video. Anyway, yeah, I had a Merry Christmas. I had a good Christmas. I'm at my cousin's house now, and it was very good. And I recall one cousin asking me, "Hey, I had a talk with your brother, and he doesn't seem to be. He has different ideas about about Jesus." And I said, "Yeah, I know he does." Well, she said he's not into the whole religion thing. I say, "Yeah, he's not. He has his own ideas." Okay. So I said to her that everybody know that Jesus Christ is Lord. Everybody know that that God exists, and people just choose to not believe for various reasons. Whatever reason it is, they choose not to believe. But every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess. In the end, people will admit that that Jesus Christ is Lord. They will admit it. They know it, but some of them bear the truth in unrighteousness. Others just ignore God. Others rage against God and fight God, and others accept Him here now in this life. But in the end, all of us will bow the knee to Christ, and God is in control. Although we see horrible things happen around us, we see good things happen too. But us see life progressing and life going on. But God is really in control. He's really in charge of everything, and He really does orchestrate everything. It's just incredible. But when we think that we are free to a certain degree, but even in the United States of America, where you're supposed to be free, you're under some control, but you have a lot of autonomy anyway. Though you want to be a bum on the streets, you can be a bum on the streets here in the USA. If you want to rise to the top of a corporation, you can actually do that here. And God gives us certain liberties in that way, but in the end He still remains in charge.
in the end, he orchestrates everything. In the end, he, he gives us freedom, but his will be accomplished regardless. And it is his will, that we all honor his son. And one day we will all do that. One day mankind will do that. All of us, the Bible says, "When he shall bow and tongue shall confess that Jesus Christ is Lord." And it's going to happen. But right now, as fellow Christians, we have to let God stay in charge, let God do his thing. And like, for example, my brother, who my cousin says has different ideas about religion, you can't change people. You do what you want to do. Don't be too forceful. Be fervent and be respectful, and understand that it is God who's in charge, and not people. It's God that brought Paul before Felix, Festus, and Agrippa, and then even now he appeals to Caesar. It's God that orchestrates all that. At one point I was saying, I mean, I don't even Paul really recognize what he said. He just said it. I appeal to Caesar. Why should I be brought, in front of these Jews at Jerusalem, when I did nothing wrong? I appealed to Caesar. And then Agrippa comes and says, if he had not appealed to Caesar, it would have been set at liberty, it would have been free. So that's what God, being in control. So praise be to God, and it's a honor to know him and to be serving him, because he is in control. Yeah, so that's why I made that quick video this morning, and so to God be the glory. Alright? Now I need to, in the future, be better prepared for these videos. Because I would love to have known the progression from Felix to Caesar. But I can't do it in the video. And I'm here actually doing the video and trying to figure out. I noticed that Agrippa was a king, King Agrippa. And I can't see where it says that Festus. It says there Porcius Festus. It doesn't give Festus his title, it looked like. Okay. Felix. I think he was the governor. Okay. So, have a good day and Happy New Year when it comes.